what's up guys, and thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Frieza's First Form and Frieza Pod from Dragon Ball Z. But before we get into any of that, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now without further ado, let's get started. So here we got this big box. It's actually a pretty big box for a figure really small, and that's because most of the box is for the pod right here. Now we got a nice purple background. We got Frieza's First Form and Frieza Pod. We got Frieza laughing maniacally, holding his, I think that's called the Death Beam or the Death Ball, one of the attacks. We got Dragon Ball Z here. We got him shouting in fury. On the side, we got Frieza First Form and Frieza Pod. Got him shooting that Death Ball, glaring, laughing again, the Frieza Pod. On the bottom here, we got him scratching his chin inside of the pod. On the side here, Frieza First Form and Frieza Pod. On the back, we got him, I guess, pointing or shooting his attack, saluting, I don't know, either his enemies or maybe his dad. We got the pod, we got him scratch his chin. We do have the 5-star Namekian Dragon Ball, which is, it's pretty ironic because he doesn't actually come with a hand to hold it, and the ball's like the size of his head. Him shooting his death beam and him screaming out at you. And a bunch of words and things that I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with by now. So let's get started with the figure. So here we have little Frieza, and you can see he is very, very, very small. Very nicely detailed, though, I have to admit. I love the purple that's on him. Purple on his head, on his chest. It's all a glossy, shiny purple. We got this dark beige, brownish color on his pads. We got that on his forearm and leg guards as well. We got this nice texture detailing on his arms and legs. Got a nice long tail with a purple tip. Got his 3-toed feet. Very, very nice detailing for his face. Got the ears, these horns. Very small, yet very nicely detailed. Now for articulation, head is on a ball joint. I think it's a double ball joint. It's moving very nicely. Base of the neck is on a ball joint as well, but it is very, very tight. And whenever you try to move it, the head just ends up moving. So, whoops, and you drop the face there. So, yeah. Now, the shoulder pads can come up like this. They are on a hinge. Shoulders do have a butterfly joint that goes out this much, which is quite a bit. We do have a ball joint for rotation all the way around. We got a hinge that goes up that much, pretty good. Bicep rotation, elbow bend that doesn't really go that far, just a little over 90 degrees. And we got a ball hinge at the wrist. It's a little stiff, make sure there we go. Just like that. And one thing to notice is that these forearm guards do rotate. I'm not sure if that's intentional or is just loose quality, but it doesn't really bother me. Let's just find that pretty cool. Getting these arms out of the way here. We have a ab crunch that goes forward that much and back that much. Waist is on a ball joint as well. Legs kick forward that much. Kick back, not so much because of the big tail. We got... All right, let's try that one more time. So I'm going to go a little bit gentler. So legs go out that much. Not as good as I thought. That's barely even 90 degrees for the splits, but that's okay. I just expected him to have a much bigger splits because every single Figuarts figure has pretty much almost gone to 180 degrees. So having just under 90 is a little disappointing. Thigh rotation here. We got a knee bend that goes that much. We got a ball hinge at the ankle and no toe pivot because he's only got 3 toes. So yeah. Oh, I forgot the tail. So we have a swivel here and a swivel at the top joint, and we have a hinge in the middle. So pretty good articulation there. Now I have to pose the tail just right or else he won't stand because the tail adds a lot of weight and he's a very small figure. Just gotta make sure everything lines up well so he can stand. You have to use the leg as like the tail rather as a third leg to get him up. So that's pretty good right there. All right, let's take a look at some of the accessories. We got another head. And I'll show you the difference between that one and this one in a second here. We got his screaming face. And then we got a smirking face, I guess. I think it looks literally the same as that one. I gotta check that again. So there's that. We got a laughing maniacally face. And we got a gritting his teeth face. Just like that. Now, let me show you the difference between these two heads first. Now, if you look at the brows, you see that here we got a straight slant coming down towards the ridge of the nose. Whereas this one, we got the curves on top of the eyes. Like this one has more expression. He's angry or he's screaming or something like that. That's the big difference between these two faces and heads. Now, to change the faces, you probably already saw when his face fell off. It's pretty simple. All we're going to do is take this face and just pull it right off, just like that. And here we have the head and we have the face. Now, of course, if you remember, these two faces, you see the brows, they're more raised. These ones are meant to go with this one, which has the more raised brow look, whereas these ones are meant to go with that one. Now, I'm not sure if these actually do fit the other way. Well, they can, but I mean, look at that. There's a huge gap right there. That just looks really off. So this one is meant to go with these faces because everything just fills out well, whereas those ones are meant to go with that. Now, you may also notice that on these guys, there's a hole or there's a missing ear on this side, but this one has the ear here, and that one over there also has the ear. Now, that's because, I'm not sure if this one actually is able to come off. I'm pretty sure it is. Just pop that off. That's because we also have the Scouter. And I really like this because this is actually similar to how Bardock was. Rather than have heads that have the Scouters actually attached, or faces rather with the Scouters attached, you're now able to take the Scouter and put it on any face that you desire. So we got two pegs right here. You probably see that. We're going to plug it into these two holes. And then we're going to take this, pop it right into the head, just like that. And here we got Frieza with the Scouter. And of course, like I said, this works with any one of these guys here. So that's pretty cool. Just gonna leave that there. Now to switch the head, very easy. Grab the body, grab the head, rip that right off. Here we see we got, I was wrong actually. There's a double ball joint with a hinge in the middle. So lots of articulation there. Put the head on, we got the hole on the bottom of the head. Plop that right on. Make sure it actually lines up and stays. Pops everything off. Technical difficulties here. Try not to break anything, of course. There we go. We got it in, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now just replace the face. Put it back. There we go. And here we got Frieza with his screaming face. Like he's angry at Goku for beating him up. So there is that. Let's get the rest of the stuff out of the way. He comes with a bunch of hands as well. We got the fists that are on him right now. We got two claw hands. I guess you could use these for his pod in a second. We got a pointer finger hand for the right hand, which is for his death beam or death ball. And we also got a hooked finger for the left side when he's scratching his chin. Now to switch the hands on, let's do the right one. What we're gonna do, grab the wrist, grab the hand, pop that right off. We're gonna put on our death beam hand, plop that right on, just like that. I wanna see which way does the joint actually bend. Just, there we go, just like that. And let's take a quick look at, so here we have the death beam accessory. See, we got the hole here. It wasn't cleaned very well, but that's okay. Got the hole for his finger. It's very nicely painted, silver metallic. And all we're gonna do is take that and plop it right on the finger, just like that. It doesn't really fit in too well, just enough for him to hold it, just like that. And here he's ready to destroy Planet Vegeta. Whoops, get that fist out of the way. And last but not least, we have the 5-star Namekian Dragon Ball. As we saw already with all the hands, there is nothing that's able to hold this. Like, here we got this hand. It's way too... You could balance it just right, but it's definitely not meant to hold this Dragon Ball, which I find pretty ironic and pretty funny. It's a very, very nice, clear orange Dragon Ball with 5 stars, and as I said, it's the size of his head. So, that's that. Now, for the grand finale, here we have the Frieza Pod. Now, it's pretty hefty. A lot of it's still empty in the inside. And here we can actually see we have the underside, or the lower half of his body, already situated and inside the pod. And how you would actually switch this on is, you probably guessed it already, we'll snap him right in half, put the upper half of his body on this, and we'll put the tail, take it off, and plug it on this as well. And we'll show that off right now. I'm going to remove this ball because I don't want it to get lost. What we're going to do is grab his body here and grab the torso, just pop it right off. Very simple, very easy. And next we're going to take this tail, we're going to pop that right off as well, just like that. Now we won't be needing this for the rest of the video, so I'm just going to put that off to the side. Now, I would start with the tail first because it's easier to put the tail on. We see we got that peg hole and that peg. Just plop that right on, make sure everything lines up. Plop that right on and make sure it's dangling out of the way. We want it out of the way as much as possible. Oh, one extra point of articulation that I totally forgot. The end of the tail is on a swivel right here, so we can actually move that around. And to finish off, we're going to take this peg hole, plop it onto that ball joint, make sure everything lines up, make sure his hands are out of the way as well, because they can get in the way. Just like that. It doesn't really click or anything, but you'll know when it's on correctly. So here we got Frieza in his Frieza Pod. Very, very cool. I mean, if you don't look straight down, you won't see that. Actually, his legs aren't even there, but I mean, it's still pretty good. We got some nice gold here on the grills. Everything's in this matte finish I really like. Matte black paint. We got matte white on the bottom here. See here we got the control panel. Forgot to show you that before. We got some red buttons. We got a big black, I guess, radar dish. And the seats were red, as you can see. And yeah, it also comes with a clear stand. Here we see we got these ridges here, which fit in with these little grooves here. And all we're gonna do is just plop that right on. Here we got Frieza floating in his Frieza Pod. So, for some quick comparisons, here we have another Frieza in his Frieza Pod. Now this is actually the Figuarts mechanic version. This is a model kit. I built everything myself and all the colors. Most of the colors on here, actually, I painted it myself. So, I mean, this one does look a little weird. I don't like that face at all. It looks really creepy. And everything, of course, is glossy because it is a model kit. It doesn't have that premium finish like the Figuarts figure has. And these are gold, silver, yellow, not gold, excuse me. Got the white here. We see I did some panel lining here. And for this one, the good thing is the figure is actually removable. Now, inside is mostly black, and we do have yellow seating instead of the red seating. Personally, I think the Figuarts version is more accurate than this one, but this one was definitely more fun to put together. Here we got the console. This was actually a sticker. I did not paint that because this would be way too monotonous to paint. But yeah, everything here is really light because it's extremely hollow. Here's the figure itself. You can see very, very different and definitely not as premium looking as this guy right here. Like I said, the only good thing is that you actually get a full figure, even though he is in a permanent seated position. But other than that, this is way better than this. So put him back in this chair, put him on the stand, get him out of the way. Here we have him with his longtime rival, Goku. So even with the chair, he's barely the height of Goku. And of course, we have to do this because this is the only other Frieza figure that was released so far. We have the final version, or the final form of Frieza. And he, again, is also extremely hard to stand because of his tail. See, they look very nice together. Now just give me one quick second. I'm going to put him back in his full, his legs, and see how the height compares. So give me 1 second. And here we are back with Frieza in his full body form, and here we can actually see that the height of these guys are very, very, very similar. From the feet up to the head, he's a little bit taller, which I think is okay. And in the comics, or not the comics, the manga and the anime, these guys should pretty much be the exact same height. And it's very nice. He, of course, looks much slimmer than this guy. And of course, this figure looks more premium because this was a earlier release. This is the revival version, or the, I guess, the resurrected version from Dragon Ball Super, because he does have the hole on the top of his head for his halo. But it's just a repaint of the original 1.0 figure. So I'm actually hoping that they will release a 2.0 Frieza final form sometime in the future. But yeah, there's that. So yeah, that's my review of the SH Figuarts Frieza First Form and Frieza Pod from Dragon Ball Z. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.